Hey, what's up YouTube? Jesus Loves You Gamer here. I'm about to finish off my collection series for the very beginning of my channel. Before I begin, I'd just like to say that this is my PlayStation 1 collection, but I'm also going to be showing some other stuff that I was supposed to show in my very first video. But, forgetting to record it and then rushing out to put the video, I've never had time to do it. So, I'm going to be showing not only my games for the PS1, but I'm also going to be showing all my system's memory cards and all the controllers I have for every system. I'll make those into separate parts though, so if you only want to see the games, it'll be the very first beginning of this, and there'll be parts after that. But it'll all be into one video. So before I begin, I don't have enough to just make one video by itself, so I'm just going to show you my PSP real quick. The only game I have right now is Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. I think it's a pretty good game. It's a prequel to the first game, so it explains a lot that that some things the first game didn't quite make clear. I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan though, as you can see right now. And these are two PSP UMD movies. This is Spider-Man 2 and Resident Evil Apocalypse. Never watched them. I think I've watched Spider-Man 2. I have to watch it again. There's a lot of movies I haven't watched. I'm not a very big movie buff. But what do you say we get into the games? Alright, very first we have a collection of Activision classic games for the Atari 2600. It's a neat little collection. My mom, when she was younger, she bought herself an Atari, and she had a lot of fun with it. So, just to relive, not relive, but experience the same things that my mom did growing up. That was pretty cool. Asteroids, kind of just a beefed up version of the original Atari game or the original arcade game, and it's pretty fun. Pretty arcadey. Battle Arena Toshinden 2. I can't tell you much about this game. I think I played it once with my friend because he brought it over, and I don't know. I didn't have much of an opinion of it. Maybe one day. Bugs Bunny and Taz Time Busters. I put a lot of time into this as a kid, not on the PlayStation but on the PC, and it's a pretty fun game. It was directed really more towards kids, but it was really fun. I wouldn't say top 10 games of my childhood, but still up there. Maybe like top 20, top 30, something like that. Cubics, Robots for Everyone, Racing Robots. I used to be big into Cubics when I was a kid. I had the game for, I think it was the PlayStation 2, and I was really big into that. But the thing was that game that I had for the PlayStation 2, it was like a rental game that we got one time, and I was really disappointed when I had to give it back. So hopefully maybe I can get that game back one day, because I do miss that game. Eliminator, never played it, can't say anything about it. I solely bought it off because of the disc art, because my former game store, they're not in business anymore, but my former game store I used to go to in Harrisburg, they had a bunch of loose PS1 games that they were selling for $1. That's actually how I got most of these PS1 games. So most of these PS1 games were $1, including this one. Disney's The Emperor's New Groove. I was a big fan of the movie, so figured, it's probably going to be terrible. Why not, though? Frogger, kind of just a story. Well, not really a story, but like stages version of Frogger. But Frogger is a pretty cool game, and I've had a lot of fun with Frogger. Gran Turismo and Gran Turismo 2, this is the simulation disc, and this is the arcade disc. Of course, Gran Turismo, I think it's 6, we're up to 6 now, so of course, those are pretty dated compared to graphically and, the cars that are in the game. But, still pretty innovative for its time. The Land Before Time, Return of the Great Valley. I was semi-big Land Before Time fan growing up, and like I said, this is one of the dollar games, so I was just like, what the heck. And I've actually watched a review for it, and it sucks. I've seen gameplay for it. I think it's possible to beat it in like an hour or two. It's kind of bad. Medal of Honor. This is the very first Medal of Honor game. I was never a big FPS fan. So I kind of just picked it up, just wanting something extra to play. Monopoly. I actually have put into a lot of time into this version of Monopoly. I have Monopoly on the Wii, but it's just something about the PS1 Monopoly just has a charm to it. What can I say? Rampage World Tour. I didn't get big into this game. My brother did, but I was never really big into the whole, monster Godzilla scene. So, it's kind of just there. Real fishing. I'm not a fishing fan, but my best friend is, so I kind of just got this in case he ever wants to play it. So, Road Rash 3D. I'm semi into racing games, so I figured, taking it back, seeing what it was back in the day. So, seeing, what kind of racing games had to offer. Star Wars Rebel Assault 2. This is a 2-disc game. For those of you that don't know me personally, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. George Lucas fan in general. So my goal is to own every single, Star Wars game. And now that I have a new job, with much better money than I was making before, that could possibly happen within the next year. North American, though. I'm not going to focus on, Japanese or anything like that, European. Every North American Star Wars game release. Alright, I'm going to group these next two games together. Tekken 2 and Tekken 3. Tekken 3 was my favorite Tekken growing up. I think it might still be to this day. Either that or Tekken 5. I really didn't care for anything other than 3 and 5. 2 is kind of hard to play in this time and age. So, but yeah, I'm not a huge fighting game fan, but I can get into Tekken. Eddie is always the guy I use. I love Eddie. Tetris Plus. Who doesn't know what Tetris is? And it's kind of just a beefed up version. What can you say? Alright, and these last two games will be grouped together. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. I used to be real big into the Tony Hawk games. I'd rather have the Dreamcast version of those games just because it's the more superior version. Because, they kind of play the same, but the Dreamcast versions look better. So I'd rather just be playing those. Alright guys, that's the end for the PlayStation 1 game, so if you want to end here, do it now. If not, then take a look at my memory cards and controllers. Alright, like I said, here's the memory cards, controllers, and I'm going to show a little bit of accessories. Not nothing too special, but just thought I'd put it in there. Let's start with the oldest to newest. Alright, this is my only PlayStation 1 memory card. I'd like to get a new one, because this one has, I don't know if you can see it, but it has medieval written on it. I kind of got this for free, and it was good for the time, but now that I'm a collector now, I'd rather just get a Sony official one. Or is this? Yeah, this is a Sony official one, but I'd rather get one that looks nicer. And same thing for this one. This is my VMU for a Dreamcast. Doesn't even look like a VMU, but it is. It's a VMU. I would rather have one that that actually has the buttons and lights up. One doesn't light up, but shows you the picture of what game you're playing. But for now, this is what I'm using. And finally, I have 1 and 2 PlayStation 2 cards, memory cards. These are both 8 megabytes. I'd like to get the 128. when if these two ever run out. I mean, because the PlayStation 2 games usually don't really ever have too much space. I remember like Madden takes up a lot of space, but I don't play Madden because they don't even make Madden for the PS2 anymore. So I don't have to worry about it. Alright, now let's move on to controllers. Alright, this is my Sega Dreamcast controller. Pretty nice feel. Kind of wish there was a second analog stick, but can't blame it, for coming out the time that it did. So, Dreamcast controller, and here I can prove it to you that this is a VMU. It's a VMU. Just in case some of you didn't believe. Alright. This is my Sony PlayStation 2 controller. Within the next couple months, hopefully I'll get a PS3. I have a 360 and a Wii right now, but hopefully I get a PS3. But for now, I'm happy with the PS2. The controller my family had was really beat up, so I ended up buying this off of Amazon, and this is in really good condition. I'm really glad I made this purchase, and this is an awesome controller. Alright, moving on to GameCube. This is the GameCube controller I actually very first got with my GameCube. This is the controller I've had, growing up. I didn't get the GameCube until very late. I got it in 2008 to be specific. But just the nostalgia that the GameCube gave me, it's just, I'll never be able to forget the amount of memories that I have with the GameCube. And you can tell that it's been worn because you probably can't see it on the camera, but there's a lot of, it shows a lot of wear on the thumbstick. And the only complaint I have about the GameCube controller is this little, C-stick. It can be sometimes weird, like doing it with first-person shooters. That's just my only complaint. Otherwise, GameCube, great controller. And also, I have the wireless GameCube controller. I need batteries right now, because whenever I need batteries in something, I always leave the port off, so I know that I can remind myself that it needs batteries. But yeah, this is my GameCube wireless controller. Pretty convenient sometimes. Sometimes I don't feel like being close to my TV. Even with my nostalgic wired controller. Sometimes hip gear. This does come in handy. And finally, moving on to Xbox. Oh no, not finally, but here. Actually, Wii. Okay. This is, of course, the nunchuck that I just got for Christmas. This is, just standard nunchuck. And a Wiimote. Nothing too special. Hopefully I can get some special design ones. I'd like to get my hands on the Zelda edition of the Wiimote. Hopefully get the 25th anniversary of Zelda. Now, finally, for Xbox 360. This is my first controller. Well, not my first one that I had, but this is I think it's the Mini FX PX or something like that. I saw it in GameStop a few days ago, and they wanted like $30 for it, and it's pretty good, but it's really small. Like my hands are like towering over this thing, so it can be sometimes annoying of how small the buttons are. But if you press this button back here, it does light up. So that's pretty cool. Alright, now this is the very first. Well, this is the oldest out of all the controllers I have right now. But I got this when I was about 13, and this is my very first Xbox 360 wired controller. I played this thing on my arcade, and now I play it on my Slim. Well, I don't usually play with this. I usually play with the Mini, but I keep it just because it's part of my childhood, and it always will be. And it did come with all these stickers. I'm not sure if that's part of the marketing or what. If my mom did that, I never did research on it. So if anybody knows, please tell me. And of course, the wireless Xbox 360 controller. You know, I really love the Xbox 360. You know, I think it's a great system, and hopefully in March I'll be opening up a credit card account so I can purchase an Xbox One. So, looking forward to that. And that's it for the controllers. And I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of video game accessories. It's only one group of things, but these are my Skylanders. If you watched my Xbox 360 video, you know that I'm not able to play Skylanders right now because of my cat chewing up the cord. But I do have 4 Skylanders, and I'm gonna try to remember their names. Of course, this is Spyro. You know, Spyro's Adventure. This is shooting. I can't remember his name. This is Gil Grunt. And I have no idea who this guy is. I'm not too huge into Skylanders. I think it's a cool idea, though. I think, you know, if I had something like that when I was a kid, you know, I would be all into it. You know, but you know, if you're into Skylanders, you know, good for you. Alright, guys, but that's the end of my collection series. Hopefully in the next couple days, I'll be able to show you everything that I've got in between, you know, since making these collection videos. Alright, and if you guys have any ideas for me of videos to make, maybe reviews, maybe let's plays of certain games that you want to see out of my collection, maybe games that you want me to get, and make recommendations for me, you know, shoot me ideas, guys. I'm all for it. And as always, Jesus loves you. Stay tuned.